Hello everyone and welcome to this video. So we will continue with data validation, and in this video we'll consider two components, which are SchemaGen and then ExampleValidator. So I'm in my Visual Studio Code now and we need to make some changes. So we will continue working with our small data set. So we have to comment out the bean pipeline arguments that we used in the previous video, and also comment out the temp folder, and also remove the bean pipeline argument from the create pipeline step. Right, and with that done, we can continue writing. We can start writing our two components. So the first thing we have to do is obviously imports. So we'll say from TFX components import SchemaGen, and then from TFX component import ExampleValidator. Right, so let me see if they were imported correctly. Yes, and then we come here, we will say SchemaGen. So SchemaGen is equal to SchemaGen, and then statistics is statistics gen dot outputs statistics, and then components dot append SchemaGen, and then we have validator that is ExampleValidator that takes two arguments. So the first argument it takes is the statistics. I'm just going to copy this and paste it there, and then the next one it takes is the schema. So that is SchemaGen dot outputs schema, and then I'll append this one also. So components dot append validator. Right, and then I would upload my pipeline now. So TFX create pipeline path is my Kubeflow DAG runner, and then my endpoint is the endpoint of my Kubeflow pipeline dashboard. So click enter, and then wait for some few seconds or minutes. So the pipeline has been created. So let's go ahead and check it out in our browser. So I'm just going to refresh that, and then we have our pipeline here. So I'll create a run from this pipeline. Yeah, so we have you can see the dependencies of all between all the pipelines. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a run and click start. Hopefully there would not be any errors. So let's see what's happening. So as you can see, ExampleGen and StatisticsGen are done, and SchemaGen is now running, and they all run successfully. So let's go into our metadata folder and check. So in our metadata folder, we can see that all the four folders have been created, and each of these folders have the artifacts generated by the components. So let's go ahead and look at the schema. So this is the schema of the data. So you can see that we have the age, which is an integer, the capital gain is an integer, the capital loss also an integer, the education is a string. Yeah, so we assume that every time if we put this model in production, we expect the schema to correspond to this, right? And this is the domain. So for the education, we have 10th, 12th grade, I think it is 11th grade, 12th grade, bachelor's, doctorate. So this is the domain of values. This is the values in this education, right? So it captures only this range. So anything outside this range would be an anomaly, right, in our data set. And we have race also, we have sex also, and then work class, right? So you can see the details. It succeeded when we started it. The logs also when the container was running. We can see the ML metadata. So where our the artifact is, what our inputs was. So our inputs was from example the statistics, and our output was a schema, right? And yeah, so let's also look at the example validator. So for example validator, you can see it tells us no anomalies found, right? So we don't have any anomalies between the training and then the evaluation data set, right? So if there were anomalies found, probably the splitting wasn't done well enough, then we would have to go back and try and then work on the data set and try and do the splitting again, right? So succeeded, logs, the logs, events. You can see the ML metadata for this one also. So our input, you can see here, our input was schema and statistics, and our output was anomalies, right? So this is it for SchemaGen and ExampleValidator. Our next video is going to be a very long one, because now that we have seen that the schema is okay and our example validator, no anomalies have been found, we can go ahead and then do some processing, pre-processing and feature transformations, right? And with the feature transformations, we mostly have to look at use our schema and then our statistics, right? So in terms of our statistics, so we have numeric features, so we have to put them in a range between 0 and 1. Our categorical features, we have to one hot encode it. So yeah, we will look at how to deal with all these things in the next video, so just keep watching.